Saturday, October 19th, 13 games, 26 teams in action, and I've got my 6 best bets for you.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Karan Thacker, and we've got a fun Saturday night hockey slate to go over today. Before we get into the picks, let's do a quick recap of the bets from our last video. So we went 4-3, and we hit on the Tampa Bay money line. We hit on the Vegas Tampa over, the Seattle Kraken money line hit, and the Brandon Montour shots prop also hit. And then we missed on 3 of them. So the Washington Dallas over, we took over 6 goals, and they had 5 goals scored in the first 2 periods. And then they could not score a goal in the 3rd period, which is kind of crazy. We missed on the shots parlay, where Marchessault and Skinner had both got their 2 shots on goal. But Kyle Palmieri and Pavel Buchnevich had 1 shot each in the first 5 minutes of the 2nd period, and decided that that is enough for the night. And then the one that bugged me the most, we parlayed the New Jersey Devils money line with Jack Hughes to record 2 shots on goal. We took 2 shots on goal to reduce the juice on the Devils money line, which was sitting at like minus 140. And Jack decided to only get 1 shot on target after putting 2 or more on target against Ottawa in every single matchup last year. So yeah, never again are we doing that. I'd rather just lay a bit of juice, but get return on investment when we're confident about a pick. But hey, overall, we'll take it. As of end of day, Thursday, October 17th, we are 36-39, and we are at minus 4.8 units. So no real change since the last video. We went up by 0.1 unit. Had a 3-4 day and a 4-3 day, so about the same since the last video that we recorded. But we've got a long way to go. The teams haven't even played 10 games yet, and tomorrow is another great day of sports. We've got the UFC, which is back, full NHL slate. Football, or soccer, if you will, is back from the international break. The NBA preseason is wrapping up. The Yankees might look to book a ticket to the World Series tomorrow. And speaking of other sports, if you haven't already, go check out the NFL video where Steven goes into his best bets for NFL Week 7. He's got you totally covered if you're looking to get ready for NFL Sunday. And as always, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. As you know, hockey is new to Just a Bet Outside, so all your support is greatly appreciated when it comes to the algorithm, whether you're tailing, whether you're fading, or you're just using this info to help yourself with your own bets. We appreciate the support as always. And with that, let's get into the bets. Bet number 1, we're going out to the Swamp, where the 2-1-0 Washington Capitals are in town to face the 5-2-0 New Jersey Devils. And before I break this game down, I'm just going to tell you the bet. So if you want to tail it, you can jump on this line right away. And the reason for that is this line is a complete discrepancy compared to the other books. So the bet is game total of over 5.5 goals, minus 140, half a unit on FanDuel. This total is currently set to 6 on Bet365, and if you try to play the alternate over 5.5, it's at minus 160 on Bet365. And it's the same thing on DraftKings. The total is currently set to 6, and the alt 5.5 over is minus 155. So yeah, there's a huge line discrepancy on FanDuel there. And the thing is that normally, I try to correlate the data to the line discrepancies. Like, does it make sense to play it? Or I don't like to play it just because we're getting value, because that doesn't mean it's going to hit, right? So in this case, I took a look at the data, and last year these 2 teams played each other 4 times, and the totals were 8, 10, 6, and 9. And then this year, these 2 teams have already played once in Washington, and there were 8 goals. So the last 5 times that these teams have played each other over the last season and this season, the total has hit like super comfortably. I'm talking 2 to 3 goals over in 4 of the 5 games. And it has hit dead on in all 5 of the games. So in the game between these 2 teams this year, the goaltending matchup was Jacob Markstrom and Lindgren, which is expected to be the same matchup tomorrow as well. And when these 2 teams play, it looks like we're getting 6 goals regardless of who's in net. So until these two teams show me that it's going to be any different, I'm going to keep taking it. So give me that game total of over 5.5, minus 140, half a unit on FanDuel for the first bet. For bet number 2, we are going out to Nashville, where we've got the 1-3-0 Detroit Red Wings taking on the 0-4-0 Nashville Predators, in what should be an exciting contest to see who sucks less. These two teams played head-to-head twice last year, where both teams won at home, and they split the season series 1-1. So Detroit took it 5-4 at home, and Nashville won 1-0 at home last year. And this year, these two teams have played a combined 8 games, and they are a combined record of 1-7, where that one win was this same Detroit team beating this same Nashville team 3-0 in Detroit. So here we are, rematch in Nashville, and I do like the Predators here to keep that same trend going as last year. I like them to split the season series by picking up a home win over the Detroit Red Wings, and I like them to do it in regulation. Give me the Predators to win in regulation at minus 115 on Bet365 for a quarter unit. That is a scary proposition, considering that this is a 0-4-0 team. Hence why I can't lay a half unit on the Predators, but I'll lay a quarter unit for them to just wrap it up in regulation. Their money line is way too juiced. I think it's sitting at like minus 180 right now. So I don't trust them that much unless you want to take them as a parlay piece. But yeah, for me, I'm just going to lay a quarter unit here, minus 115 on Bet365 for Nashville to win in regulation in the 60 minutes. But I'll also be playing a quarter unit on Alex Lyon's over for whatever the book set his saves line to. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, Leon, but you got the point. The Detroit Red Wings goaltender. The books don't have his saves total out just yet, but I'll be taking his over on his saves total for a quarter unit, unless it's something ridiculous like, I don't know, 33.5 or 34.5, then it's too high. But if it's sitting somewhere reasonable between, 27.5, 29.5, even 30.5, I'll probably take that for a quarter unit. Goaltenders against Nashville this season. Calvin Pickard had 25 saves on 27 shots. That was the lowest. It was against Edmonton, who have actually been pretty good at reducing the number of shots against this year. But you look at the other 3 goaltenders against Seattle. Decord had 30 saves on 33 shots. Cam Talbot had 42 saves on 42 shots in that game against Detroit. And Jake Ottinger had 33 saves on 36 shots. So Nashville is number 1 in shots on goal per game so far this season. And I think that we see a desperate Nashville team who can't afford to go 0-5-0 to start the season. So I'm just looking for them to fire pucks at Detroit's goal. I see a way where both of these plays do hit, where Nashville is just, piling those shots on. They can win this game in regulation, like 3-2, 4-2, maybe even 5-2, for both of those bets to hit. But we also have a contingency, like just in case Detroit does, go up early, like 1-0 or 2-0, and they do either win the game upright or take it to overtime. Well, in that case, I'll take the shots prop that we're playing for Alex Lyon to, get a bunch of saves here, just because I expect Nashville to throw the hammer at Detroit to avoid going 0-5, just in case Detroit goes up early. So ideally, we look for both plays to hit, but just in case Detroit does go up early, we have that contingency plan where Nashville should be firing pucks at the net. So yeah, keep an eye out on the pinned comment as we look to lock in that saves prop for Alex Lyon as it drops.
And then for bet number 3, we have got the 4-0-0, the perfect Calgary Flames taking on the 3-2-0 Seattle Kraken in Seattle. These two teams played 4 times against each other last year, where the team split the season series 2-2, with the road team winning in each game. So yeah, this game is in Seattle, but despite that trend, I am backing the Seattle Kraken money line once again here at home. Half a unit, minus 150 on Bet365. I'll lay the juice. It's not too heavy, right? It's minus 150. It's not minus 180 or minus 190. It's not ideal, but I'll lay the juice. And you probably think I'm crazy laying a minus 150 against a 4-0-0 team. But the reason I'm doing this is because the underlying numbers on Calgary are horrific. Calgary currently has a +5 goal difference. Their expected goal difference is actually minus 0.39. To add on to that, Calgary has scored 10 goals so far. Their expected goals scored is 7.94. That's 2 full goals less than what they've actually scored. Calgary's been scored on 5 times so far this year, and their expected goals against is 8.33. So the underlying numbers are saying that they should be getting scored on a lot more, and they should be scoring a lot less. Expect regression from Calgary. And meanwhile, Seattle's underlying numbers, they're exactly where they should be right now. They're playing as expected. So I'm just going to bet on the regression here. In no world can I ever foresee a Calgary Flames team going 5-0-0 to start the season. And with all the advanced metrics telling us to back the Seattle Kraken here, I'm just going to lay minus 150 on that perfect streak to start the season to end here in Seattle. Give me the Kraken money line, minus 150, half a unit on Bet365. And then for bets number 4 and 5, we've got the 3-2-0 Vegas Golden Knights traveling to Florida to go on vacation. No, I'm kidding. To take on the 3-2-1 Florida Panthers. These two teams have played 2 times head-to-head last year. The Panthers took both games. They won 4-1 in Vegas, and then they won 4-2 back home in Florida. So the first bet that I'm going to play here is the over 6 goals. I'm taking that for a quarter unit at minus 110 on Bet365. I know I just mentioned that these games ended with 5 and 6 goals last year, so that would have been 1 under and then 1 push. But if you look at the metrics this year, the Panthers and the Knights are the 3rd and the 4th worst teams in the league in terms of expected goals against. The Panthers' expected goals against is 12.57, and the Vegas expected goals against is 12.37. And these teams have played like 5 and 6 games each, so the numbers are basically telling us that we should expect at least 5 to 6 goals in this game. And both teams, just looking at their schedule and their results this year thus far, both teams have been involved in high-scoring games. So I'll take the over here for a quarter unit sprinkle. And then I'm also taking the Panthers money line for a quarter unit at minus 105 on Bet365. As mentioned earlier, the Panthers did take both the matchups against Vegas last year, but what I like even more than that is the underlying numbers that back this play. So Vegas currently has a +1 goal difference in 5 games, but the underlying numbers say that their expected goal difference is actually minus 3.12 instead of +1. That would be the second worst goal difference in the league behind Montreal. The Knights have scored 14 goals, but their actual expected goals is only 9.25. So they're scoring way more goals than they should be. Their shooting percentages are through the roof. You can expect that to come crashing down. And in this case, our 2 bets have both sides covered. So if Vegas continues to regress as expected, we would expect the Florida Panthers to cover the money line here, just like they did twice last year. But if for whatever reason Vegas does light up the lamp and they continue to outshoot the metrics, we've got the goals covered too. But in the ideal scenario, this is like a 5-2 or a 4-3 Florida game where both the over and the Florida Panthers money line cash. So yeah, give me those 2 plays. We've got a half unit total invested in this game in Sunshine, Florida for bets number 4 and 5. Once again, that is over 6 goals, quarter unit at minus 110 on Bet365, and the Panthers money line quarter unit at minus 105 also on Bet365. And last but not least, bet number 6 is the Boston Bruins visiting the Utah yet to be named hockey team. Shout out to Utah for being as mysterious as possible. I'm sure we're all going to bed every night just wondering what the hell they're going to finally name their team. But in terms of what I'm playing here, give me Utah money line plus 115 for half a unit. I don't get this line at all. Sorry, that's half a unit on Bet365. But I don't get this line at all. Utah is 3-1-1, and they have impressive wins over the Islanders and the Rangers, both on the road. Like right now, they're on a 2-game losing streak, sure. They lost to New Jersey, who've looked really good so far this year. And then they just lost to Anaheim in overtime on the road. So maybe that's why the line is set to where it's at, because Utah's also coming home for their first game after 4 straight on the road. Like sometimes teams can be a little bit sluggish in that first game back after like a long road trip, but I mean, the Bruins are 3-2-0. You know, they have 2 losses, both coming against Florida. Yeah, they've beat Colorado on the road, but who hasn't? Except Anaheim. And I guess the Habs and the Kings at home are impressive wins for Boston, but I don't know. There's nothing that really impresses me too much about the Bruins this year. And once again, we're following a similar pattern to what we did with the Calgary Flames, what we did with the Vegas Golden Knights. If you look at the underlying numbers, the Bruins, just like Vegas, they have a +2 goal difference, but their expected goal difference is actually minus 2.59, which is third worst in the league behind Montreal and Vegas. So the Bruins are also serious regression candidates. And you're giving me Utah, who's looked pretty solid early on with all the changes that they've made in the offseason. They're at home for plus money. I'm taking a shot on that all day. Give me Utah money line plus 115 for half a unit on Bet365. And that'll do it, you guys. Those are the 6 best bets for Saturday, October 19th. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll catch you for the next one.